Latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020. Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. We can just call it a hot weather window today. Hardly a cloud in the sky around North Central Washington as we look down at the beautiful Wenatchee Valley from our Sky-Fi Tower camera at the Cross area overlooking the valley. It was a hot one today. Not much wind out there either to cool us off. Only about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Temperatures into the 90s around North Central Washington. And here's what we can expect as we move into Friday and into Friday night. Tomorrow will be even hotter. It will be dry. Also warm Saturday, but a cold front will move down on Saturday, slightly cooling us off by Saturday. We'll also see the winds pick up just a little bit on Friday night, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Our big concern right now, of course, fire weather. A combination of breezy winds and dry conditions could result in some fire starts and also not helping fires that are already burning around, especially eastern Washington, over the next couple of days. We'll have your complete weather forecast heading into the weekend and beyond coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Autopsy results show 19-year-old Sheldon House of Kashmir died from asphyxia due to freshwater drowning. And fire crews have contained a brush fire that broke out yesterday afternoon in North Douglas County. But first, we begin tonight. An injured climber was rescued Wednesday after he suffered a broken foot while attempting to scale Mount Stewart. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett reports that 34-year-old Michael Getlin of Lake Oswego, Oregon, was injured when a loose rock fell on his foot while ascending the southwest face of the mountain, also known as the Alpine Ridge Route. The man's wife was with him and she called Rivercom to report the problem. A hoist-capable helicopter from Whidbey Island Naval Air Station was flown in to pluck the injured man off the mountain and transport him and his wife to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Autopsy results show a 19-year-old Sheldon House of Kashmir died from asphyxia due to freshwater drowning. House had been missing since mid-May, and the teen's body was discovered along the Wenatchee River late last week. The results were released Wednesday by Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris, who also said the manner of death is undetermined at this time. Toxicology samples are being sent to the state toxicology lab for testing, and the results may or may not be a contributing factor in the manner of death. Fire crews have contained a brush fire that broke out yesterday afternoon in North Douglas County. NCW Life's Steve Hare has the details on the Washington Flats fire, as well as status reports on 2 other wildfires that got out of control in central Washington this week.
The Washington Flats fire was burning in a mostly rural area located in the northeast corner of Douglas County between Pendle Road and the Columbia River. It was a wind-driven fire that burned about 385 acres of brush and grass before it was declared contained earlier this morning. No homes were threatened, and the cause was under investigation. Elsewhere, full containment is expected on the Ryegrass Coulee fire later today as crews start to demobilize. The wildfire that forced the closure of I-90 and threatened the town of Vantage spread to over 1,600 acres of dry sage land. The Kittitas County Sheriff's report Huntsinger Road and Wanapum Recreation Area, including the state park, have been reopened, and all evacuation notices for Vantage were lifted last night. Also, the Little Camas fire is in mop-up stage as more firefighters are being released from that blaze on Weyerhaeuser land about 6 miles southeast of the town of Kashmir. That fire was 87% contained as of late yesterday. Still pockets of unburned fuel within the containment area. Smoke will be visible. Total acreage burned is estimated at 317 acres of mostly logging slash and understory. No structures damaged. Cause is still unknown. Fire weather forecasters are calling for a long period of hot and dry conditions over the next week, prompting more concerns about possible new fire starts. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up next, Wenatchee City Council members are entertaining public comments at tonight's regular City Council meeting on proposed voting district changes. And good news for local anglers, the sockeye returns are larger than originally forecast. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the Ncwlife Evening News.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Yield Bookshop.
Yield Bookshop. I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Yield Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
Welcome back. In other news, Wenatchee City Council members are entertaining public comment at tonight's regular City Council meeting on proposed voting district changes. The council will vote in August on whether to create 7 districts or 5 districts with 2 at-large positions. Council members Ruth Esparza and Jim Bailey explain their thoughts on the issue as they head into tonight's meeting.
I still believe there is value in at-large positions to represent the whole city. You break it down into wards, then you become more focused, it becomes more territorial, I suppose, if you think that way. But having 2 members that are kind of able to look at the whole community, not that the members of the other districts can't. I'm not saying that, but I think there's still value in having at-large positions. So that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. But I agree with Ruth. I think there's a lot of unknowns in this thing with the Washington Voters Act that was just passed.
To tell you the truth, I'm still exploring my options because, like I said, I don't want to get boxed into just those 2 options. And here's why, because Jim and I were lucky enough to be able to speak to an expert attorney on this issue. And the way I understand it, again, I'm no legal expert, but the 5 and the 7 may still leave us open to potential litigation with regards to the Washington State Voters' Rights Act. Let's make that clear. And so, I want to keep my options open. One of the things I've learned throughout this process since 2015 is we're learning more and more as we go on this issue. And so I still want to hear from the constituents. I know that I've been reading some of the letters, in the paper, but we still have a public hearing tonight. And so I want to hear what the citizens have to say because there's so many different angles to making this decision. This is a really important decision for our city.
As Esparza mentions, litigation is a major concern for the city.
So the way I understand it, under the Washington State Voters' Rights Act, right now you would have, I think 7, 2, and 1 would be within those districts. The majority of the population within those districts would be Latino. But not necessarily in District 5 or not necessarily in District 4 or 3. I don't know about 6, but I've looked at the mapping where the majority of Latinos live on the south end. So let's say we do go to the 7 districts, or the 5, it doesn't matter. But then if you don't have the makeup of your community is not represented or reflected in, let's say, District 5, a minority individual in District 5 could still come into the city and say, I don't like your district lines, and this doesn't benefit me, I'm going to sue you.
NCW Life News will have full coverage of that public hearing tonight and more on that tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, while the news of a closure of the summer Chinook salmon fishing season this weekend is disappointing to local anglers, there is a silver lining, or should we say a red lining. Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife Commissioner Dave Grable presented the good news to NCW Life's Eric Granstrom.
The sockeye return is double what was forecast, and that is the good news. Sockeye season remains open and will for at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks, into August, I'm sure. And also another bit of good news is that the thermal barrier has set up off the mouth of the Okanagan. And so those sockeye aren't shooting directly through on their way to Canada, but actually are holding up in the Brewster Pool so that anglers have a very good opportunity to catch them. And one thing I should mention about the fish that are passing through here on their way to Canada, which is the majority of the fish. There is a hatchery, this is a tribal hatchery near Penticton. The Skaha hatchery there has the capacity of releasing up to 5 million sockeye smolt. So last year we delayed the opening of the sockeye season for a week to allow passage, and I think we were able to pass about 100,000 fish so that they could get to that facility so they can get to full production, which will mean we will have consistent sockeye seasons. They will contribute to that significantly in the future. The other return is to Lake Wenatchee, and it's just too early to tell. Initially, I was told that approximately 25% of the return would go to Lake Wenatchee, but then I've heard since then they've applied some more critical models to that, and it may only be 10 or 15,000 this year. So it all depends on how many fish pass over Tumwater Dam.
Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife came out with an official release earlier today detailing the closure Sunday night at midnight. They also will increase the limit on sockeye starting Monday from 2 to 3 fish per person. In addition, Grable says those wanting to fish for king salmon will have a chance in a nearby tributary.
There's going to be a fishery on the Entiat River this year, and it's supposed to have a very significant number. Upwards of 8,000 summer runs returning to the Entiat River. So that'll be an attraction.
Anglers are asked to check the latest regulations online before going fishing at wdf.org.wa.gov. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come right here on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Todd's a great boss. Sometimes he can be a little intense.
Adam, how about a lunchtime run?
I'd love to, Todd, but I gotta... Oh, Mr. Jones, you made it! I'm glad you can make it. You're really gonna love our lifetime warranty on all new Hondas. Let's walk and talk.
Oh, the running thing? It gets him hustling. I consider myself a great motivator.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
And now it's a sports update on the Ncwlife channel.
And a good day before the day before. Matt James' 3-run home run in the 5th inning helped lead Bellingham past Wenatchee last night 6-2 in West Coast League action. The Bells built an early 2-run lead on Nick Nestrini's RBI sac fly in the 2nd and Dusty Stroop's RBI single in the 3rd. Apple Sox starting pitcher Grady Miller then walked 2 men aboard with 2 outs in the 5th when James did the damage.
At the end of the day, it's better to be getting that extra playing time, even if it is a lower tier, than it would be to sit on the bench. Hit high in the air to right field off the bat of James, and that ball is going to go over the fence for a home run. A 3-run shot to give the Bellingham Bells a 5-0 lead. Home run by James is his first of the season, and the Bells have put forth a 3 spot here in the 5th inning.
That's Joel Norman on the call on the Apple Sox Radio Network. The video courtesy of the Apple Sox Facebook stream. Wenatchee mounted a comeback in the bottom half of the 5th with Evan Williams at the plate.
First and second for the Sox, looking to make some noise here in the 5th. The pitch, hit in the air toward right center field. On the run is the right fielder, Michaels, and he won't get to it. Coming in to score easily as day, Pena is right behind him, and it's a 2-run RBI double for Evan Williams.
Well, the Sox got a man aboard in the 9th, but Bellingham closer Ben Leeper shut the door on the 6-2 win.
6-2 the score for the Bells ahead of the Apple Sox. The pitch, outside edge, called, strike 3. Bellingham wins 6-2 tonight. They even up this 3-game set with the Apple Sox with a victory in Game 2. They score 6 runs on 8 hits. Sox get 2 runs on 4 hits, and that's the difference in this ballgame. The Sox could not get enough walks drawn early on because that's where Bellingham went to work. It's not like they pounded away at the ball, but drew a lot of walks, stole some bases, and took advantage of a few wild pitches, and they are the victors here tonight.
Again, that's Joel Norman. The teams will play a rubber match of the 3-game set tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Field. Michael Spalacy on the mound, Spalacy, that is, on the mound for Wenatchee against the Bells. Nick Nestrini, game time at 7:05. Also in the West Coast League, play last night as we turn to the Les Schwab scoreboard. David Toto Cichuk's Grand Slam home run highlighted a 6-run 4th for Kelowna in the Falcons' 8-5 win over Cowlitz. Toto Cichuk drove in 6 runs on the night. Hunter Van Sal hit the first pitch thrown to him of the game over the fence in a 2-run home run that helped lead Victoria past Bend 6-3. Chris Arpin hit a pinch hit Grand Slam home run in Yakima Valley's 13-6 win over Corvallis. Jack Philby scored on an errant pickoff move by Portland pitcher Colby Wyatt in the top of the 9th inning. That proved to be the game winner for Walla Walla in a 2-1 decision. Riker Thomas's 2-run single was sandwiched between 2 bases loaded walks and a 4-run 6th. That helped Port Angeles get by a highlight 4-2. Coming up tonight around the West Coast League as we look at the schedule. Ben's at Victoria, Yakima Valley hosting Corvallis, Walla Walla at Portland. As we mentioned, Bellingham at Wenatchee. Port Angeles wraps up their non-league series with highlight. Marco Gonzalez earned his team-leading 10th victory of the season as he and 2 relievers pitched a 2-hit shutout to the Angels last night with a 3-0 victory. Gonzalez was stellar, retiring the first 10 batters he faced. He went 7 innings and 82 pitches, struck out 4, allowed just 2 hits. Alex Colomé held the lead in the 8th. Edwin Diaz worked a 1-2-3 ninth for his 36th save. Offensively, Seattle got a surprise solo home run from fill-in catcher David Freitas in the 3rd, his first as a major leaguer. Nelson Cruz also delivered a 2-run single in the 4th. Manager Scott Service was glowing in his post-game press conference about the performance of his starting pitcher.
Heck of a job by Marco Gonzalez, to go out there and, calm that club down. And, especially after he got hit in the calf there in the 4th inning, he didn't know how long he was going to stay in the game. He didn't sit down the whole game. He was in the batting cage running, trying to keep it loose because, once you calm that thing down, it tightens up. So it's exactly what we needed. Getting through 7 innings tonight, 2 hits, awesome job.
Seattle's going for the series win tonight. James Paxton on the mound against the Angels' Tyler Skaggs at 7:07. Turning back to the Les Schwab scoreboard in the American League West last night. Make it 9 wins in a row for Boston with Chris Sale striking out 12. The Red Sox beat Texas 4-2. Chad Pinders hit a 3-run home run as Oakland built an early 6-run lead. Went on for the 8-3 win over Houston. So Houston's loss combined with Seattle's win means the Astros lead in the AL West 3 games over the Mariners, 9 games in front of Oakland. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCW Life channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. The temperatures outside are hot, but they're even hotter inside your vehicle. In tonight's features story, NCW Life's Megan McPherson visited the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society to discuss the dangers of leaving your pet inside the car.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And Renee, sometimes people like to take their pets with them when they're running errands in their cars and the temperatures are super hot. Do you have any tips on how to keep your pet cool in the car, or should they just leave them at home and not take them at all?
Yeah, we just recommend in this hot weather, basically anything over 70, that if you're going to be out and about and out of your car, to leave your dog at home. It's just, it's too hot. It's not safe for them, and especially some dogs are a little more acclimated to the heat than others, but as a general rule, it's just not a good idea. For instance, on a 90-degree day, which I think it's at least that right now, after 10 minutes, your car will be 109 degrees inside, even if your windows are cracked. So, you know, the only thing I would say is if you are going to have your animal, make sure you leave your car and air conditioner running.
And if you see an animal in somebody's car and the windows are up, sometimes you might feel like breaking the window open. Is that ever a good idea?
That is not. Contrary to kind of the myths that have gone around social media, the only people that are legally able to break a window open for a pet is animal care and control or police. Otherwise, you can be held liable. But there's another component to that that we also don't think about. Our first instinct is wanting to get that animal out of the car, out of the hotness. But if you break a window, you don't know how that animal, especially a dog, is going to react. If they're going to be super protective of their car, and now you've got, you know, an angry dog in your face, or they could get scared, jump out, and now they're at large, and that puts them in a completely different dangerous situation. So it's just best to call the police, call animal care and control, and we can come take care of it.
All right. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah, thanks, Megan.
Megan McPherson, NCW Life News.
And we'll be back with this week's Kennel Cameos and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Tonight, NCW Life's Megan McPherson introduces us to Achilles the cat.
Hey guys, Megan with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and we are also here, one second,
with Achilles.
Achilles the cat. Renee, can you tell us about Achilles?
We don't know very much about Achilles. He came in as a stray, and he was not in great shape. I mean, you can tell his tail has been shaved, and I think he's had a pretty hard life, but you know, with some love and some treatment from our vet, and definitely with some love from staff and volunteers, he has definitely, you know, he's not matted anymore, and he's gained some weight back, and he's very friendly. He takes a little while, you know, to warm up, but he's a pretty nice guy. Yeah.
And what should someone do if they wanted to adopt him?
If they wanted to adopt him, I would have them come down and check him out. I don't know that he would be a great family cat, just because he does, you can tell he's a little gun shy.
Yeah.
But they can come down and meet him, see if he is the right fit for the family, get to hear his motor. That's a pretty good thing. And then if they decide that he's the right one for them, they can fill out an application and take him home. He's ready to go home today.
Awesome.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. But before we get to those details, let's take another hot look outside our weather window this afternoon. And yeah, temperatures in the 90s throughout North Central Washington. This is a view from our cross camera, our Sky-Fi tower cam, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, and just a smattering of very thin clouds out there today. Winds on the light side, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And I'll tell you what, this trend of hot weather, it will just intensify over the next couple of days. As we take a look at our surface loop now in our temperature map, this is what we can expect over the next 4 or 5 days. Our situation today, temperatures right about that 90-degree mark. Remember, the deep oranges and reds are very, very hot temperatures, and they even darken up a little bit for us on Friday afternoon. We could see 100 degrees in the Wenatchee area, 102 down in Walla Walla. Tri-Cities will also be flirting with 100 degrees. A weak cold front will slide through Friday night, cooling us down just slightly for Saturday. We're talking about 93, maybe 94 degrees, and then back to even hotter weather once again on Sunday, where we'll be in the mid to upper 90s as we move into the first part of our next work week. Yeah, more of the same. In fact, the entire Pacific Northwest and over into Montana will be very hot. We will once again flirt with 100 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Look at those mild overnight lows once again. Mid to upper 60s tonight, 67 degrees. Tomorrow, our best chance to reach maybe the century mark so far this year, 99, very hot for Friday. A light breeze to cool us off on Saturday as we kick off our weekend. Should see about 93 degrees, even warmer for Sunday, 96, and we'll stay about there for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, mid to upper 90s with lows in the mid 60s. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.